Welcome back to another episode of Poor Decisions, the true crime and wine podcast where we sip, spill, and solve some seriously twisted stories. I am your host, Bryn, and today's case is one of lies, theft, and brutality that all started over a pair of yoga pants. This is the case of Jayna Murray. So grab your glass, pour up, and let's dive in. Now, before we get into today's case, let's talk wine. So tonight, we are sipping on the brand Misfits and Mavens. This is my very first time having this wine, but it came highly recommended. So we're going to try it. Again, we're on this journey here on Poor Decisions to get me out of my sweet palate. So this is supposed to help on that journey. So this one that we're sipping on tonight, it is a Sauvignon Blanc. This one has a 12.5% alcohol content. And from what I did read, it's supposed to be kind of sweet. It has hints of citrus flavors and fruity. So I'm kind of excited. And you see it's nice and chill because they say that this one is best served cold. So let's pour up. And while I'm pouring up, let me introduce you guys our exclusive all new Poor Decisions wine glass. So now on our episodes, I'm going to be drinking exclusively from this glass. So let's pour up so we can dive in and get ready. All right, so again, I have never had this wine before, so let's take a sip. Okay. I can tell it is a little bit on the drier side, just a little teeny bit. It still has like the fruit undertone. So I can work with this. Okay. So y'all, we are on our journey. Officially, it has started. So let me know what you guys are drinking tonight. If you guys are drinking the same wine as me, make sure you guys let me know how you like it. And for the exclusive heads up on the wine of the week that we will be drinking, make sure you guys are following us on Instagram at Ep3 Decisions. Every single week, I give you guys a heads up on the wine. That way you guys can try it with me. So without further ado, let's dive in. On March 12, 2011, the manager of the Lululemon store in Bethesda, Maryland, Rachel, arrived early to open up for the day. But something was off. When she went to unlock the doors, she noticed that they had already been unlocked. And when she stepped inside of the store, she found that it was a mess. There was merchandise thrown about and there were broken mannequins on the floor, and she automatically assumed that there had been a burglary. Just outside the store, there was a line beginning to form as shoppers were getting ready for the release of the all-new iPad 2 at the Apple store directly next door. Rachel stepped back outside and asked someone in line who had been waiting how long he had been there and whether or not he had seen anything suspicious at the Lululemon store. She had spoke to a guy named Ryan who advised he had been waiting in line for about an hour and he hadn't noticed anything strange or out of the ordinary, and he offered to accompany her back inside to help have a look around. When the two went back into the store, having more of a look around, they noticed that the cash register drawers were open and were empty, more evidence of a burglary. Rachel stayed at the front of the store to contact police to report the break-in while Ryan continued to have a look around. But little did he know what was waiting for him. In the back room of the store, Ryan found a horrific scene. And when I say horrific, I absolutely mean it. 30-year-old Jayna Murray laid violently and brutally murdered on the floor of the back room. Now, I know you're wondering, who is Jayna Murray and how does she get into the store? Well, let me fill you in. Jayna was a shift manager at this particular Lululemon store, and she had worked the night before on the closing shift. Jayna's family and friends described her as being vibrant and full of life. She was adventurous and had traveled the world. She loved to bungee jump, skydiving, anything that might have been a risk, you name it, she was down to try it. She was driven, intelligent, and highly educated and was currently pursuing 2 master's degrees at Johns Hopkins University. Jana's mother stated that Jana was her best friend, and her father spoke of how she inspired everyone around her with her zest of life. Now, the night that this incident occurred, Jana was not the only person inside the Lululemon store. Shortly after finding Jana's lifeless body in the back room, another employee, 28-year-old Brittany Norwood, was found in the employee bathroom, tied up and unconscious, but seeming to still be alive. Brittany was tied up with her hands above her head, and she had superficial scrapes and cuts all over her body and a gash on her forehead. Brittany claimed that she and Jana had been brutally attacked the night before by 2 masked men who sexually assaulted them during a robbery gone wrong. Brittany was taken to a nearby hospital where she was treated for her wounds and given a rape kit.
At Lululemon.
And how long have you been there?
Maybe a little over a month. I just transferred from our Georgetown store.
Are you a worker? Or are you a manager? Or what?
Educator, so just not a manager.
And so you were working last night?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just Jana and you?
Mm-hmm. From 7 to close. And she gave me her smart trips, and when we walked back out onto the floor, she was a little ahead of me, and there was someone who hit her in her face. I turned to try to leave a back exit door, because it immediately sets the alarm up.
Okay.
And this guy just had me by the hair.
So there's definitely 2 people?
Yeah. Told me if I said another word, he would slit my throat. And Jana kept yelling and fighting, and he just kept hitting her. And I think he drug her into the bathroom, and she was still trying to fight with him. And he hit me a couple of times.
With what?
Just his hands,
okay.
Kind of on the side of my head. And it was just yanking my hair. And then the other one came out, and he had zip ties, and he zip tied my feet together and my arms together, and then he got me across the stomach and across the chest, and yeah, I just wanted to stop.
Police are on the hunt for 2 suspects involved in the murder of a woman and the sexual assault of her co-worker.
These 2 suspects showed up prepared to commit a crime. They were gloved up, they had masks.
Jana Murray is described as a valiant fighter who would not have hesitated to protect herself and her 27-year-old co-worker who was beaten but survived.
And this is when the inconsistencies started. Let's take a sip. Let's get back in. See, the thing about lies, eventually they unravel. And these lies began to unravel fast. When the results of Brittany's rape kit came back from the hospital, there was no evidence to support the claim that she had been sexually assaulted. That was the first string that unraveled. And during the police investigation, they began to get suspicious as things were just not adding up. For one, there was no evidence of forced entry into the store to support burglary. And after a review of the records, there was no money actually missing from the store. Again, remember when I said the cash registers were open and empty? It seemed that Jana had already closed up for the night. She did everything that she was supposed to do. She counted and logged the registers. Nothing was actually missing. And then also, after reviewing the security footage, there was no evidence of any masked men anywhere nearby. And the main thing that sparked questioning was Brittany's wounds. They were suspiciously shallow, almost too shallow compared to the severity of Jana's wounds. Jana was attacked so brutally that she obtained over 300 stab wounds. At the scene, there were also bloody footprints that matched a men's size 14 shoe. but the shoe prints were matched to a pair of Lululemon size 14 men's trainers. So Lululemon didn't actually sell shoes, but they did have these like sneaker trainers in the store so that customers, when they were buying their clothes and trying things on, they could try it on with the shoes. That way you could, I guess, see how a full outfit would look. And then police began to suspect that this crime scene had been staged.
Just like on the back of my mind that something's not right here. And that was bringing up all these issues that were kind of there in the back of my head, you know. We had bloody shoe prints throughout the store that never left the store. We had zip ties that were in the store that were used on the victims as if somebody knew that they would be there. By this time, we found Jana's car, and we knew that the car was moved, and we knew there was blood in it, like on the gear shift, on the steering wheel. It's just a lot of weird stuff.
Now, let me give you a little bit of background on our other victim, Brittany Norwood. Those that were close to her described her as being well-liked and outgoing. She was known for being friendly and charismatic, and she was well-liked between her co-workers and her peers. Brittany was also athletic. She played soccer at the college level at both Stony Brook University and Binghamton. So let's get back to the case. Police and everyone else was beginning to wonder who would do this and why would someone do this to Jana? Well, let's take a sip before I tell you. This wine is so good, you guys. Let's stay on course. Now, this case all started over a pair of yoga pants, okay? Yes, a pair of yoga pants. At the end of their shift, as Brittany and Jana were about to leave for the day, it was standard that all employees had their bag checks prior to leaving the store. But when Jana checked Brittany's bag, she found a pair of yoga pants that had not been paid for. So yes, y'all, Brittany was caught stealing. Jana confronted Brittany and told her that she would have to inform management, and Brittany knew she would be fired.
I'm part of the leadership team, so like all of us knew, but we didn't have concrete proof. And then I remember I talked to Jana. She called me at 9:46. She asked me, did I sell Brittany some Crocs? And I was like, no. And she was like, because when I back checked Brittany, she found a pair of Crocs in there. They still have the tags on. Okay, so we got proof now. Like, okay, we have the proof that she stole something.
Now let me give you a little bit more of some background tea. Brittany had only been working at the Bethesda Lululemon location for about 6 weeks. And prior to that, she was working at their Georgetown location. But Brittany was transferred from Georgetown to Bethesda because she was caught stealing. Instead of them firing her then, they decided to give her another chance and just transfer her to another store. So this time, Brittany knew she was out of chances. Now, shortly after leaving the store for the night, Brittany was walking to the train station when she realized that she did not have her Metro card, which she needed in order for her to be able to board the train to get home. But Brittany did not have Jana's phone number. So she called around to multiple employees to try to obtain Jana's number so that she could be let back into the store. Now, when Brittany was finally able to reach Jana, Jana was almost home, getting ready to pull up for the night. She did what any good person would do. She turned around and headed back to the store to meet Brittany so that she could let her in so that she could find her Metro card. And for this good deed, she paid for it with her life. Back at the store, they both searched for the Metro card but could not find it. And quickly, things shifted. Employees at the next door, Apple store, reported that they heard the sound of two women's voices arguing. One was saying, "No, please, let's just talk about this, and please don't do this." But they just assumed that it was just two co-workers arguing.
We heard screaming, and so we go downstairs, and all of a sudden we hear a scream. So I get closer to the wall, and I can hear what they're saying.
What are they saying?
So it was two females. One was hysterically crying, and the other one was like she was trying to talk to her, like, what's going on? The other girl eventually calms down and starts talking, but I don't hear, at that point, she's kind of mumbling.
Okay.
And then that's when I turn and it's like, oh, seems like there's drama going on.
Did you ever hear any other voices or just the two?
Just two. Two came
Okay.
out.
Brittany attacked Jana horribly. Jana was beaten and stabbed over 300 times with 5 different weapons that included wrenches, hammers, a rope, an X-Acto knife. There was a toolbox in the back room, and it seemed that any tool that could be found was used to attack Jana. And the attack lasted so long that Brittany would swap out weapons anytime that one got dull or had broken to continue to attack Jana. Jana fought back, but it just wasn't enough. And the worst part, according to the medical examiner, Jana was alive during the entire attack up until the very last blow, which was a blow to her head that severed her spinal cord. Just imagine that and having to endure that. Brittany was arrested within just a week of the actual murder occurring.
Tonight we've arrested Brittany Norwood, age 27, for the murder of Jana Murray. Ms. Norwood was an employee of the store and is the woman originally thought to be the surviving victim.
And during trial, the evidence against Brittany was overwhelming. So overwhelming that her defense team didn't even try to argue her innocence. Instead, they just painted a picture that it was a result of a blind rage and that it wasn't calculated or premeditated at all. But the amount of staging and the planning of the staging, it was just all too calculated. The jury didn't buy it. And in 2012, Brittany Norwood was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without parole.
Guilty of first-degree murder.
I know the trauma our family has been through. I want no other family to go through this.
Now let's take a sip. I'm gonna just finish it. And there you have it, guys. That is all the facts from the Lululemon case. Everything that I know, you now know. Now let's get into the case discussion. Now, I didn't drink all my wine, so for the case discussion, I'm gonna pour up some more. But the case discussion for this one, I have one question for you guys, and it's whether or not do you think that this case was premeditated? Again, Brittany's defense tried to argue that it was not premeditated, but based upon in court, they said it was. So I want to know from you guys what you guys think. Now is the time in the case discussion. I'm going to give you guys my opinion, but I definitely want to highlight that this is completely my opinion, okay? So when it comes to Brittany Norwood, in this case, the Lululemon yoga pants murder, I definitely feel like this was a premeditated attack. I feel like the time that Brittany got off and left the store and was headed to the train station, that then she devised this whole entire plot. Maybe she didn't put together the whole entire thing, but I definitely feel like the ruse of, oh, she left her Metro card at the store. They searched and never found the card. I don't believe she ever lost her Metro card at all. I believe that while she was walking to the train station, all she could think about was how Jaden was going to tell managers that she was stealing. This was the second store she was caught stealing at, so that she was going to be fired. And she wanted to do damage control. I don't completely understand it, because for me, I'm definitely not going to murder you over some yoga pants or to even just keep a job, no matter what job it is. At that point, if I need to be fired, just fire me. I'm not killing anybody to keep my job. That's just insanely crazy to me. So then I feel like maybe her defense should have argued insanity. I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. But the premeditated aspect of it, I believe that while she was walking to the train station, she started calculating this. Maybe if I call her and back to there, I don't know, like, call her back in what? Like, I wonder what her full plan was. Like, what does she think would happen? I'll call her back to the store to get her to let me in to find this card that doesn't really exist. And then what will be my next move? We will never know because we are not Brittany. We are not inside of her mind. Only she can let us know that. And based upon what she's saying, she was not pre-calculating it at all. But I don't know. I feel like, of course, it wasn't premeditated. Like, before she came to work, she knew she was going to do that. She didn't. That's also why she used any weapon that she can find, and it was only things found in the store. The same way that her cover-up wasn't things used or found outside the store. She made the footprints using the store's shoes to try to make it seem like it was someone from outside. But if you do your own more research, again, when I give you guys these overviews of the case, I like to stick to facts. That's very important. There are a lot of other details, but it's kind of fluff, things that you don't need to know to kind of grasp the idea of the case and what really happened. But yeah, like, I don't know. I definitely, again, no matter what, for me, I say it was premeditated. While she was on her journey to the train station, she decided that I was going to use this ruse of not finding my Metro card to get Jana back to the store. But what she thought was going to happen after her and Jana got in the store, I don't know. Like, did she think that I'm going to murder her when we get back into the store? Well, I don't know, because according to accounts, it wasn't that she tried to talk to her like, please don't tell on me. Please don't tell that I stole the leggings, or here, I just want to give you guys the leggings back. That way, then I don't have to get fired, because if I give you the leggings back, then technically I never stole them if I'm giving them back to you. But instead, they like looked for a card that didn't exist. And then while looking for the card, you found Jana in a vulnerable moment, and then you attacked her. So I guess on her walk to the train station, she did think and devise that I'm going to call her back to the store and I'm going to get her. I don't know. Like, I don't think it's ever that deep, in my personal opinion. It's never that deep. If I'm going to steal from my job and then they catch me, then I'm just going to lose my job. I am not about to murder you to keep my job. And then she couldn't even keep her job because they put two and two together very quickly. And then she also had to kind of, attack herself. Like, she had to gash on her head and cut herself up to make it seem like it was someone else. Oh, and then also a detail that I did not give you guys that also gave it away that it was her. When she was found with her hands like tied, her hands were tied using zip ties. And when they did their investigation, of course, when things are getting, they take everything. Everything, a part of it is a piece of evidence, including the zip ties. And on the zip ties, it was her teeth prints in the zip ties, which showed that she had tied herself up, which shows, again, you did that. But, I mean, the only part of me that's given that maybe this might not be premeditated is because she used things around the store. She didn't come with a weapon already. Like, she came to work with a knife in her bag. But that's because you didn't know that when you were getting off, she was going to find a pair of leggings in your bag and then threaten to tell the management and get you fired. So you kind of had to come up with it on a whim. But still, that walk from the store to the train station, where you then not even just straight called Jana, you had to call multiple other co-workers in order to even get Jana's number. So that entire time, you were like devising a plan. She even at a point of the attack, she was attacking Jana, I think after she killed her, because I gave you guys the most important. There's still extra fluff. I'm going to give you a little bit of the fluff now. After she actually killed Jana, she moved Jana's car. So when she called Jana to come back to the store, oh my God, my damsel in distress, help me out, help me find my card. Jana pulled back up, and because she thought that I'm only going to be in here for a couple minutes to help her find her card, lock back up, and then get back home, Jana pulled up and she parked right out front of the store. So fast forward, Brittany murders her. When it's done, it's like her car is right in front of the store, and she thinks that will bring attention. Because like a lot of like mall parking lots, they have security kind of drive around at night. She doesn't want anybody to see the car and think, that's suspicious. Why is someone's car parked right out front of the store? So after she finished murdering Jana, she did get in Jana's car and then move her car like 2 blocks down the road so that no one, I guess, would see it out front and then become suspicious to come and look. And then she proceeded to go back inside. You walked back down to the store from wherever you parked her car at. You walked back to the store, and then when you got in there, you took the shoes, you put the shoes in Jana's blood, and then proceeded to like fake step all over the store to make these footprints, to make it seem like there was someone else in the store besides just you guys. And then you attacked yourself. You started cutting yourself. You put a gash in your head to make it seem like you were attacked along with her, and then tied yourself up, and then literally stayed overnight in the bathroom waiting for someone else to come into the store to find you. You planned all of that. No matter how quickly you planned it, it was, wow, it wasn't just I attacked her in a blind rage and oh my God, now I realize what I did, let me call 911. Like, you staged a whole entire cover-up, including injuring yourself. That is crazy. So again, I stand on what I said, where I feel like her defense team should have argued insanity. Because the way that this is playing out in y'all, I don't want to be rude, but it's giving crazy. And again, this is all over a pair of yoga pants. Now, be mindful, if you ever shopped at Lululemon, or even if you haven't, I've never shopped at Lululemon, but I know that Lululemon has workout gear, but it's more on the pricey side. You're going to look to pay around like $150 just for like a workout top or a pair of leggings. Not the set together, just for one piece. They're a little bit more pricey. So maybe she couldn't afford it or just didn't want to pay it. I'm sure working there, she got like an employee discount, but I'm sorry, no pair of yoga pants, I don't care how expensive or how cute they are, like, it's not worth it. Like, for me personally, but again, like I told you guys before in the first episode, you don't have to worry about me in situations like that because I'm never going to do things like this. But it's just crazy to me. I try to wrap my mind and put my mind in the thought of the people who are doing this. But then I kind of get stuck because I can't fathom or imagine why they would choose to resort to such things. I don't know, but I'm more interested in knowing what you guys think. So please, please, please leave me your thoughts, your opinions. Let me know. Do you guys think this was premeditated? If you guys were in a situation like this where you guys got caught stealing, do you think that often your manager, so she doesn't tell on you, is a good thing to go and do to keep your job? Let me know. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please make sure you do so. Subscribe. And also make sure you follow us over on Instagram at It's Poor Decisions, okay? And again, be on the lookout because every week I'm going to post ahead of time the wine of the week, and that's the wine I will be drinking in the next episode. That way you guys can try it with me if you are also interested in going on this journey of expanding your wine palette with me. And for this week's wine of the week, I'm going to go ahead and rate it a 3 out of 3 cheers. It's a little bit on the drier side, but it definitely does everything that I needed to do. If you guys tried this wine with me, make sure you leave me your thoughts and comments down below, and follow us on Instagram at It's Poor Decisions. That way you too can get the sneak peek every week of the new wine that we're going to be trying. And as always, I thank you guys for tuning in and joining me. If you're new here, if you're coming back, then welcome, and thank you guys for staying. And you guys know, until next time, make good choices and not poor decisions.